Hey, what's up?
Hey guys,
How's everybody doing today? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good.
I'm good. What's going on with you today?
Oh, chilling with my husband, trying to make a little content, drinking some good coffee.
Yeah, decided to switch it up on y'all a little bit today. Came out to a nice little coffee spot, not too far from our home. Great vibes, good coffee.
Chill atmosphere.
Yeah, yeah. So what's on your mind today? What you want to talk about?
So, I've been talking to a lot of young adults, and it seems like a recurring theme is that they don't want to get married.
What do you mean by they don't want to get married?
They can give me all of the bad reasons that they should not get married. Divorce is number one. And, I tell them, you never start anything with thinking that the end is going to be bad.
But
So
in today's world, what do they really what is the main driving thing that we focus on in life is lack, the bad.
true.
That those seem to be the thing that we're most conscious of. And then we're talking about relationships, and we're talking about dealing with bringing someone, into our circle as far as creating a life with them. The biggest thing today is what you bring to the table.
And so let me start out by saying that if you start out focusing on what you lack or what's missing, that is going to be your focus. So maybe we should start out focusing on what we do have, being grateful for the things that we do have, and what we want the end product to be. And so if we start out focusing on everything that's missing, that's your focus. And that's what's going to transpire are the things that are missing, right?
I mean, it can be that, but let's even get a little deeper. If I haven't, we're talking about relationships, we're talking about getting married, we're talking about I want to be married, we're talking about, but with that comes trust, understanding, the know how, the support system. So let's just break it down for a second. What if I am wanting to be married, but I've never seen a fruitful marriage or a marriage that I would like to say I would like to mimic that marriage, or I would like for my marriage to be that way, and all I've seen is
Bad
the
and ugly.
bad and ugly. The dominant woman, mom, grandma said, "This is how it is," and don't trust no man, and all those things.
And what about all he's done is cheat, all he's done is lie, all he's done is hurt?
Facts, facts.
So on both ends, it could be bad. Could be.
So it's a changing of the mind.
It's yeah, a change in mindset, a change of atmosphere, like the people around you, because the people around us are so important in helping to decide, if they matter, what the future is going to be or what the outcome is.
So you're telling the audience that you have to surround yourself around positive thinking people.
I would want to surround myself with positive thinking people, with people that have good outcomes, with people that are prosperous, with people that are successful. Because birds of a feather flock together. And so if I'm around a bunch of people that are failing and that are negative and that are not doing right, then what's my outcome gonna be?
Well, I know my personal experience in that is I can tend to find a group of people that are going to agree with like thinking or like minded. And if my like minded or if my thinking is off or negative, I can always go find those people to agree with me.
And they're
Um,
easier to find.
Easy, unfortunately, very easy to
Easier to
find.
find.
So, I mean, that is a great point that if I want to do a different results, I have to do something different. So if I want to be married, if I want to step into that arena, then I need to go find that marriage, that couple that I can say, okay, I see that they may have struggles, but I see that they're fighting their way through it. How do I change my thinking to think like them? Or how do I stand alone in my thinking? How do I not be, um, persuaded by what the world people are, and I mean when I say by the world people, just what the world is telling me. You know, I feel like right now divorce is at an all-time high, but there is an all-time high of people wanting to get married.
I agree with that, and I think that those are the people that need to stand up and stand out because the way that culture is going right now, the positivity is not seen. They focus more on the negative, and the people that are divorced or unhappy or mad, angry, they're speaking out. And so, what about us? It's our job as successful marriages, as Christians, as people that love their husbands, love their wives. It's our job to speak up and speak out on why this is important.
You know, so we've often shared with each other like communication is a big factor and a big key. But as we went through our journey, um, I've always thought I was a good communicator, but not knowing that I can only communicate to the level that I can only communicate the things that I'm trying to communicate to a certain level. And if my level isn't even where I think it is, you're only going to compute it to the level that I even communicated it to you. And so if it's my communication is off and it's wrong, then I can't set a standard so high for you to respond in what I ask you, that would bring you to a place of whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong or whether I'm just trying to get you to see it my way.
You're taking this so much further than where we need to go right now.
Okay, well
But
let's.
listen, positive communication is also effective listening. And so this is why we're here today. We're here to discuss why should I get married? Not why did I get married? Not why I'm going to end up divorced. Why should I get married? Is the question that we're bringing to the table today.
Okay.
And so I think that a good reason to get married is because when you have two people, that is way better than one. A double-stranded cord, a three-strand cord is hard to break. Um, he who finds a wife finds favor, um, obtains favor with the Lord, and as a team, we can't be divided. Your take on that?
There's a lot of benefits. I mean, I definitely agree with what you just said. Um, who wants to go through this life alone? Um,
It's so much harder to do it alone.
it really comes down to, values and what you want out of life. My life has been so much better with you being involved in it. There's things that I can share. There's victories. There's joyous moments. And then, as you said too, God definitely has blessed us in multiple areas. But you know, when you're going through life, you're navigating through life. You I count it all joy when I can look over and be like, hey, what about this or what about that? Even the small victories, right? I just feel like that you owe it to yourself to live life to the best of its ability and get and be able to partake in every great good thing that God has placed inside of a marriage and then just in life in general.
So you're saying that you can enjoy life to its full capacity if you have somebody to share it with.
I believe so.
I'd agree. I would agree. It's easier to wake up in the mornings knowing that I have somebody to do things with, to share things with, whether it be good or bad, because you wake up on any given day and you have a lot on your mind, whether it be good or bad. And to be able to bounce things off of Eric and ask him questions is a help for me. Not just to wake up and say, I got this, and this to do, and I have to do it all by myself. How am I going to get it done? Well, we could split those responsibilities, share those responsibilities, do them together. Um, there's just so much that you can do with another person. So I think one of the first keys is to make sure that you're compatible with that person. Um, when the Bible talks about being equally yoked, that could come in so many different forms. That does not just mean having the same religious beliefs, if you will, or the same family values, or the same disciplinary values.
Well, I think that that right there is one of the biggest things. Reason why people ask, why should I get married? All those things that you just named. A lot of people feel like I ain't got time to figure those things out. You know, we try to figure out the beginning, the middle, and the end, and we want to arrive at a perfect destination
before we even get started.
before you even get started. So, in the way that the world is teaching us to be wired, you know, how do you know what you're made of unless you go through something? I'm not even saying that's got to be all bad, but how much stronger am I going through it with the companion?
Thanks.
I mean, you know, you look at the things you just named, and some people just be like, man, I don't want to be lonely, but I don't want to put no work in to even not be lonely.
And anything that is worth fighting for is hard work. Nothing's gonna come easy. If it comes easy, be careful.
And there's something to be said about that. I mean, to me, it's hard being alone. Like, you know, the loneliness of the situation. But the problem is that we attract the negative things that we don't want because those are the things that are on our mind when it comes to a relationship. Um, there's times where, you know, I've worried about this, I've worried about that, I've worried about that, and that very thing is what was drawn to me.
Because you were so consumed with it.
I
Your
was so
thoughts were
consumed with
consumed
it,
with it. Your mind was consumed with it day in and day out until
day
you
in, day
attracted
out.
it. Because we attract the positive just like we attract the negative.
Absolutely,
I agree with that.
absolutely.
And so today in society, so many people are worried about the bad things, the negative things that are going to happen, that's what they attract.
Yeah.
Or even with a man, like I talk to so many women that want to be married and they're so lonely. And loneliness is an epidemic right now. It's
Mm-hmm.
like everywhere you turn, you see somebody that's lonely, somebody that's searching. Um, and when I speak to them, and we get in that conversation, and I find out that they're looking for somebody, but what if he cheats? What if he treats me bad? What if what if he's gay? What if um, what if he doesn't love me? What if it doesn't work out? But what if it does?
What if it does?
What if he is the one that God has for me, even though he doesn't look like I expect him to look? What if he is the one that God has for me if he's not as tall as I want him to be? What if he is exactly what I need and I just don't know it yet?
What if?
What if? The what ifs will stop you. They will stall you. They will make you be stagnant. They will keep you where you are in life. And if you're in a lonely place, do you want to remain lonely?
So in that what if, it's very important that you seek sound counseling, because those what ifs take you right on out. Um, I'm not even saying that you're wrong for having those what ifs, especially in if you come out of a bad relationship, if you've seen nothing but horrible relationships. But it matters where you go get your counseling from. It matters. You can't just go to your girlfriend or one of your homies and be like, "Man, what you think about this? What you think about that?" Because they probably are going to give you bad information because they only can speak from
Where
uh,
they've been.
where they've been. So that's very important. So you gotta put the weight, weigh it pretty heavy as to what they say, especially when it comes to this thing that we call marriage. There's we got single friends, we got friends that are obviously married, we got friends that are divorced, and we have, man, endless conversations with them about where they go, what was some of the positives and what was some of the negatives. And one of the biggest things that I hear them say is they let their friend talk them into, or so and so said this and so and so said this, and then I ask them when they go and look at their life, what is the fruits from their life, where were they at? And not that everybody's going to give you a perfect answer, but we're talking about life here.
And please don't say that you out here lonely because you let your friend talk you out of something that you were supposed to be in, and they out here with somebody having a good time. The influence is great, and so be influenced by people that are successful. I mean, we coach relationships, we coach marriages, we coach single people, and hopefully they're going into their next to find somebody to be with. Um, and I don't agree that as a single person, you shouldn't hang around married couples because that will help to influence and evolve you into your next. So get around people who you want to be like, who have like minds, unless your mind is negative. And if that's the case, we get around people that can produce positivity in your life, that can speak positivity into your life, because we are the greatest at speaking ourselves into our next or going backwards. We had that conversation with somebody today, and you have all the good things inside of you in your core. If you have to speak, you have to believe, think, and speak yourself into your next. If you can't even get to the root and speak, or I'm sorry, think that you're going to be better, that you're going to do better, that you're going to produce better, then there's a problem. So you need to get around people that can help you do that.
and that you want better.
You have to want better.
Some of us, and we just had this conversation this morning about self sabotage. Some of us want, we can see it, but then it seems like we do everything that says opposite of where we even see that we want to go.
Correct. And the bare minimum won't get you where you need to be.
Not at all. Not at all. So, I mean, this is definitely, let me put myself in the best position to win. Let me find someone that is going to be compatible with me, wanting the same values, the same uh, core of values, even if it needs to be fine tuned, right? Even if it's something that you need to work on, but do not run away from it because you're saying I just ain't got time for it. I mean, some people, like we talked about, shaping our atmosphere. When they begin to say things like that, they really begin to turn their focus back on the negative things. I ain't got time for that. I'm not getting ready to put all that into a woman or put all that into a man. But then they stood up and say, I'm lonely.
So why wouldn't you want to put your time and effort into somebody though? Is that a an okay thing, or do I'm married to you and you're going through something right now and you're not the best Eric that you can be, but I know that that potential's there. I know that you have what it takes. Why would I not want to spend time building you up, building you back up, pushing you, motivating you to be better and do better? Or are you just supposed to stay better all the time? And I'm just here for all those great fruits that you produce all the time.
Well, okay, so you said a lot, but let me just say I believe that a lot of that is because we as a person most times have an expectation that's set so high for another individual that we can't even rise to that expectation, but yet we hold them to such a high expectation that I just feel like you should already know better. You should already be doing this. You should already be doing that. So why do I got to come and do it? If I come and do it, then it's like I can't want this more than you want it. I think your vision on that is off in a married situation. I
So I
think
don't. So I mean, my expectations are high, and you're not meeting them. I just give up on you.
no,
Then
no, I don't see. That's the thing. To me, that is what is being pumped out in society. Just give up, walk away.
I agree.
You have to be willing to stand there and fight. I see even on your lowest, whatever that may look like, I still see the potential. I still know that this is the woman that I married, that I love, that is going to satisfy, provide, be there for me no matter what. So it has to be. I got to give out what I want to receive. Most people just want to take, 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 take. Never want to give out. So when
So our relationship is give and take.
yeah,
Quit playing.
how
Ain't
can
no
it not
way.
be? I mean, how can it not be? There's no way if I'm just taking, 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 and never giving, 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 and there's a balance in there. Even if that balance gets off, it doesn't matter because we're in this together. We are a support system for each other. I mean, it's God forbid, but what if you know you can't give no more? I just walk away from you? No. I mean, I don't feel like that giving up in the marriage is the is even an option.
Agreed. It shouldn't even be in our vocabulary.
Now you got to train your mind to think that way. There's some situations you got to go through. You got to make a decision, not a choice.
But I mean, when you get married, it says for better or for worse, till death do us part, correct?
It
So
does.
you know that those bad times are going to come.
Yes.
It may not look like what you thought the bad times were going to be, but there's so many ups and downs. I mean, there's levels to this, and very rarely are we on the same page at the same time. We're in different stages. When we're on the same page, we're excited.
So what you just said, different stages. So let's back up to even the title of this. Why should I get married? You got to recognize what stage you are at, what lap you are in. Even though I'm running this race and my plan is to see it to the end, I still have to run the first lap. I got to run the second lap. I got to run the third lap. In each of those laps, there's preparation. In each, in every preparation that I have to uh, face, there's preparation in the preparation. Again, I know I want to finish the race, but what am I doing to prepare myself? And this, I use the racing. In order for me to get from the first lap to the second lap to the third lap to the fourth lap, there's different things.
Hold up. So this sounds like work.
It is. I mean,
So you're telling me in every stage of our marriage, I gotta work. I gotta build myself. I gotta prepare myself, or build you and prepare you for what's next.
even before marriage,
Is this? I mean, is this for real? Like,
even before marriage,
so do you think that our young people are seeing work right away, and so they're saying, I don't want to do this because it's work?
I think a lot of them do see it that way.
And do you think that maybe they didn't realize it was work from the beginning, and that's why they don't want to jump into it?
I believe that there's a false narrative out here that, okay, let me back up. Not false narrative, there's a false sense of entitlement.
I can see that.
So when if I believe there's a false sense of entitlement, just the word false itself should let you know that your thinking is off. There's work. There's work involved. And a lot of the work that's involved is got nothing to do with the other person, got a lot to do with you.
So we got fugazi thoughts. We got false entitlement. We got lack of work or work ethic,
Mm-hmm.
even though people would like to believe that they work hard all the time at everything. And we have basically, we just thought that this was going to be easy. And because it's not, we're just not going to do it.
Well, I'm not saying that every day, every hour, every second is going to be hard, but when there are those hard times, if I'm thinking in my mind there's not going to be any, I'm not prepared for it.
So I'm trying to think in the terms of what some of our younger people may think. Like when I play a game, there's levels. And I have to fight to get to the next or work to get to the next level, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what is what's the game that KK likes to play all the time? When you shoot 'em up.
Oh, Black Ops,
Black Ops. So there's levels, and I have to get so many kills, so many shoots to move to the next level, right? And
even
then I
bragging rights, yes,
bragging rights, and then I feel so good when I made it. But then there's another level to go to after that, or maybe there's a little relaxation period, and then I gotta build to get to the next.
absolutely,
Is that like a marriage? Is
yeah,
that
yeah. But here goes the thing: what has made it easy in that I don't have to figure it out or even wait and reset my thinking. I can just get up, turn the game off, turn it back on. Some games I can just buy more lives.
but it took practice to get there, still to get
We
good.
okay, but but the waiting period in between that, I can get right back in the game, and you can with the right thinking. But using the analogy that you use, some people think that life happens that
Just like
fast,
that.
and there's no work involved in it. It's just, well, that didn't work. I'm right back at it. That in it. So let me make this clear. It should be that way in your thinking, to not where you give up. But with that, using what you just used the game, they think, well, he don't look the way I think he ought to look, or he said this, or he didn't say that. She said this, or she ain't bringing that to the. I'm passing. I'm going on, and that might have been the very thing that God had placed in front of you. You just needed to navigate, problem solve, and figure it out. So that could be the work. I mean, there's so many different situations out here that uh, we don't want to slow down and think, or change our thinking, or change our view, because if it don't happen the way we think it ought to happen, or if it's more entailed in what to arrive to an expected end, we're not going to go through it.
Y'all, my mind is reeling right now because I have sons and I have daughters and they're young. And out of all five of my kids, and that's not even counting my bonus kids, only one's married. But just some of the conversations that we've had, like I could say so much right now. Like I have some sons that they meet women and they don't understand that the women are trying to get married right away, and they come to me and they're like, "Mom, she's talking about marriage already," and I'm like, "Son, if she is not talking about marriage right away, she's for the streets." And for my girls, if he is not talking about marriage, then he probably ain't the one, because what are we working towards here? Are we just dating to break up? Are we dating for life? Like there there's so much involved, but to me, even in all that involvement and all the different conversation, marriage should be a topic. Because what am I doing this for? This is a waste of my time if we're not talking about getting married. Am I wrong or am I right?
No, I think you're right. I think marriage in some arenas is just something that's not glorified, especially to our young people. Our young people feel like I can build, or I can go get it on my own.
But really, marriage is beautiful. It's having somebody to wake up to. It's having somebody to go through things with. It's having somebody to travel with. It's having somebody to do fun things with. Somebody to cook for. Somebody to cook for me. Somebody to have coffee with. Somebody to have conversations with. Somebody to bounce ideas off of, and they're gonna think differently than me. I told my daughter the other day, I have so many thoughts going on in my mind and on any given day, and I can bring them to Eric, and he comes up with thoughts and ideas that
And
I
vice
never
versa.
that I never even considered. And sometimes it's like, why didn't I think about it that way? It would have been so much easier if I would have just did it that way, but because of my mind and the fact that I can't ask and answer my own questions, and I have somebody to bounce it off of, that makes it so much better. These are marriage bonuses to me. These are reasons why I should have gotten married, even though when I got married, I didn't even know what I was doing or what I was getting into. Just over the years, it's progressed and it's turned into something so good and so beautiful and so bountiful that now I would question, why would I not get married? Why would I want to do this on my own? Why would I want to walk by myself? And I wouldn't.
I agree with you, but again, there's what am I hearing? What am I allowing to get inside of my head? Who is talking to me? Where's my influence coming from? You can get information from someone that uh, who is the matriarch of the family, or, your best friend, and their information that they can give you could catapult you either into a successful life.
We're into oblivion.
Yeah, yeah.
So I do think I think that this conversation is so open ended, y'all, and I hope y'all weigh in the comments so that we can come back. I wanna hear what a lot of people have to say. But marriage is the choice. It's not the only choice. You can choose to be alone. You can choose to do things on your own. You
But
can
that's
choose to struggle
boring.
by yourself. Yeah, but it's boring. Let's have some fun. Let's
Yeah,
do this.
yeah. That's boring. I don't know why you would choose those things, but some people, and some people, let's face it, it's not that they choose it; they just don't know how to get up out of it.
That's, and you can step in at any time, but since we've gotten married, there has been nothing but value added, prosperity added. We've gotten better mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially. Things have gotten better. And when I look back over our lives, at where we've come from, nothing. We've got so much more now. We've done so much better. And we have so much more time, so much freedom. And when I say freedom, I don't just mean in time. I just mean in life in general. Things have gotten better. So why shouldn't you get married? Because it betters your life.
Definitely does.
It grows you.
It definitely
It
does.
adds value, increase.
I mean, and the value that is added, sometimes we have to go back and look at where we came from.
Yeah, always remember where you came from because it's gotten better. Whether you realize it or not, it's gotten better. And we didn't start out on the same page. We might not have been on the same page this morning, but we end up on the same page. So
Absolutely.
there's different ways to go about it. There's detours, but we always ultimately end up on the same page, and that's because we spent time together. We put things into it that help us to. We want to enhance and increase each other, but we want to be on the same page, so we end up there. So once again, it's a mind thing. We want positive vibes, positive energy. We want to match each other.
It starts at a mind thing.
It does. It starts in the mind.
Yeah. I mean, to it's again, especially if your thinking has been, slightly off or thinking about marriage in a negative way, you got to deal with those negative thoughts.
And communication is everything because even if it's hard to say what you want to say, do what you want to say, text it, talk about it, get it out there, put it in the atmosphere, create that conversation because we have to end up in the same place.
So, would you say if someone is thinking about getting married that they need to seek counseling before
Definitely seek counsel. And then counseling is a word I don't like to use because
coaching?
it makes it sound like that there's an issue, but there are always issues. Let's be honest, good or bad issues. But yes, to talk to someone, bounce things off of them is definitely a plus.
I agree. I
So,
agree.
with that being said, we do offer marriage coaching, relationship coaching, singles coaching, life coaching, if you will. Um, and so, feel free to contact us if that's something that you're interested in. I will have information in the comments on our website, our phone number, all the contact information. You'll be able to reach out to us. If it's something that you're interested in, we'd be glad to help, mediate, step in, do whatever it is that you are looking for us to do. We're glad to help.
Absolutely. I would love to invest into your future.
And so if you want to spend some time with the Joneses, keep up with the Joneses, hit us up.
Absolutely, babe. I agree.
It's been real, y'all.
Like, share, subscribe. All right. Till next time. We love y'all. Peace.
Peace.